Well, tomorrow, Governor Rhoden will present his first ever budget address ahead of the state's 101st legislative session.
Grant Green speaking with several lawmakers on what they expect to hear from tomorrow's address and how they hope the state can operate under a limited budget. Good evening, Grant.
Good evening, Brian and Kara. Last year's budget was $7.3 million, down $5 million from the previous year. The state is continuing to work with a budget that gets tighter and tighter, and two lawmakers I spoke to are hoping that the state's budget will avoid being regressive in nature and also find ways to take advantage of the growth in Sioux Falls. Cutting costs can often be good business, but for governance, the Democratic Party in the state is feeling a little unsettled.
We're concerned. We're concerned because revenues are down, the projections are down.
Last year's budget address, presented by then-Governor Kristi Noem, presented an increase in education that didn't meet the rate of inflation, and that was approved in the final budget.
We've heard that we're going to see flat budget when it comes to what we're doing for education, what we're doing for our state employees, what we're doing for our community service providers.
As the state continues to find ways to be fiscally conservative, Senator Jamie Smith says changes should benefit people of all incomes.
And make sure that we're making sure that the people that can least afford them are affected in the way that best helps them. Because with child care costs, like you said, housing costs, when it comes to just the cost of putting food on the table, all of those things are higher, right?
Being a state in the bottom 5 in tax burden means limited avenues of revenue. Representative Greg Jamison says the state should take advantage of the growth in its biggest city.
Hopefully the state kind of realizes that Sioux Falls is kind of the economic engine of the state, and anything they can do in that budgeting process to help facilitate a growing economic engine like Sioux Falls really creates value for the entire state.
Sioux Falls year in and year out has been growing by 5,000 to 6,000 people a year, and Jamison says the state cannot fail to properly accommodate for that growth.
Some of the challenges we have are with those infrastructure needs and pressures, like for the sewer system and water and roads. And so any assistance that the state can provide through those kinds of programmings will help the city grow and not put that other burden back on the citizens who live here.
Jamison and Smith both addressed the need for funding in public safety and addressing the prison reform issue proactively. The men's penitentiary will remain in Sioux Falls, and therefore addressing housing and food insecurity will help ease the burden on the city. Tomorrow's budget address is for the fiscal year 2027, and it takes place at 1 p.m. Kara?